All right, you guys, we are back to do our story for the shuffle and pull that we had that I ran out of space for. So sorry. But here we are. Let's see where we're going to go with this, because I am a little bit perplexed on this one for some of the parts. Hopefully it will all just come together. Okay, so we have the skunk in the beginning and the SEX energy, which is somebody's creative force, right? It's where creativity and energy flows. Or it could be someone actually having some kind of STI, because we've got the skunk there and it kind of stinks. Someone could be suffering from that or needs to make an appointment of some sort. Also could be that someone's energy flow is just not up to par. Maybe it kind of is. It's not flowing the way it usually does, but somehow they've still had a spark of creativity. Let me go back to the other story, the STI story, that someone may have caught an STI. And it's sparking the idea or the thought of, or creating some kind of plan for reckless behavior. Very, very reckless behavior. That this person is planning something to the point where they have no fear about ending up in isolation of some sort. This person could actually be on a 5150 hold. Maybe they attempted to do something that was life-altering. Maybe they intended to try to harm themselves. Maybe they're Capricorn. Or maybe they're trying to harm someone else. Maybe they wanted someone else to harm themselves, and so they were creating some kind of scenario or situation that would lead this person there. Perhaps they thought an STI would do it. I don't know when they changed it from an STD to an STI. I guess because it's not a disease, it's a infection. Maybe they're two entirely different classes of situations in themselves. I'm not too certain. All right, so whatever it is, it's burning, right? So much for Love Day. It's burning. They weren't trying to listen to the possibility of things being attached. And some of these things can be things that are hidden. They don't show up right away. Maybe it's something that they thought was hidden, but it's coming back. And this was passed around while they were on vacation somewhere. Never in a million years did someone think this would happen to them. They thought their person was loyal. Perhaps. They thought they were protected. They thought they were saved from things like that. And now someone is coming in asking for forgiveness, or they're asking for you to forgive them, even though they probably don't deserve it, because they didn't know about it. They didn't know. They were acting in this behavior because they just wanted to fit in with the chameleon card. They just wanted to fit in. They didn't know this person needed to take a bath, that they were unclean. They seemed pretty healthy. Right? Now they're looking at themselves. And seeing where they need to regroup and balance. Maybe the person has come out, is making it clear their two sides of who they are. And now they're at a standstill. They're actually just emotionally dry. Now, I recently learned that, oh, and they could have a baby that someone didn't know about. There's no horse here. And I recently learned in the Hindu beliefs, the carriage symbolizes the body, the reins symbolize the mind, the person that leads the carriage is considered, is symbolizing the intellect, and the horse represents the senses. And in this card, there's only partial reins, so they were only in part of their mind. They were completely in their body. There's no one running this carriage, so their intellect was out the window and they had no senses at the time. And that's why this grace, considering it's under the grace card, that's why it would probably be a good idea to give them forgiveness in this situation, because they were not in their right mindset. They were in this group of people, they wanted to fit in, they got caught up in the moment. And now everything they have done is coming back to them. They sold their integrity for something quite medieval. It didn't seem like it was such a bad thing, but the further they got along in it, the more ripe it got. And now they're realizing how sweet it was to be the black sheep in the scenario, to even not even participate, be a part of. And now they're saying, I really wish I hadn't done that. Over on the left, we've got the penguin. The penguin will bring a pebble to their person of interest and leave it at their feet. And if that penguin accepts it, then they're going to be together forever. In another case, the penguin, they don't know why they do this, but oftentimes or sometimes there'll be a singular penguin that will all of a sudden leave the group and walk in the other direction to no destination. just off into the Icelands. It's almost like they just put themselves in self-isolation and they leave the group. It's kind of like a cat. Maybe when the cat feels it's coming down with something and it's going to be at the end of its days, it will leave the family so the family doesn't have to witness that. So the penguin could be walking away. In that card, it is going to be the penguin walking away from the group. They may be trying to go to nature to regroup. They could be trying to find the like-minded people, to go in solitude to reconnect with nature, maybe to who they were. They could be leaving their home. We've got the full moon underneath in the sky of the camp card, and we've got the full moon here. So maybe it has to do with the full moon. Someone is quite bitter. But it's what's going to create the balance. It's going to restore the balance in this situation by them just leaving. We've got the Baba Black Sheep and the skunk. Skunk is black and white. The sheep is black and gray. The skunk is nocturnal. The sheep lives during the daytime. The skunk will have a little family, but they're often seen singular unless they're, have their offspring behind them. The sheep is also singular. Opposite times of day, but similar animals. Though the sheep does not defend itself, but it does have the wool to protect its body. Whereas the skunk defense mechanism is outside of itself. It sprays. It's a liquid. Where this is a textile. One has a very lingering, pungent aroma that's really hard to get off of you. We have the mirror in one corner and the goat in one corner. Someone could be looking at themselves and thinking and trying to pump themselves up. You are the greatest of all time. You are steady. Goats have a tendency to eat whatever it is that you're carrying on your person. They'll eat like fabrics and whatnot. When you go in to feed the goats, they'll try to nibble your clothes. Maybe mirror magic was done to get someone just to keep eating. Maybe it was magic done on the full moon cycle. This independent person, this creative mind, this out-of-the-box person, the scapegoat, it's pretty nutritious. Ouch. Did I even mention the playing card? Someone going to maybe somewhere as far as their family traditions. I might have skipped this. Going to the family traditions, things that are passed down from generation to generation. They could have flown to another country to get this stuff done. If we were going on, I don't think we even went over that line. Someone could be creating the situation that's going to cause someone to make really risky behaviors. Messing with their mind and their stability with the jacket here. whoever the person is, or say, you know what, let's go to the person who has a great reputation, one of the greatest of all time. Purification, not listening, isolated, being left alone. Maybe someone told them that this person they were doing this to was a pure individual and that you should leave them alone. And someone wasn't listening to that because they wanted to attach these, the mirror magic or the moon magic. So this person was invisible. Let's attach it to them. Let's pin it to them that this person is invisible. But it came back to the person, the practitioner, whomever was doing that. And they couldn't believe it. They were like, in a million years did I not ever think that what we were doing would come back to us. We weren't even supposed to be seen in this situation, because this is what we've done generation after generation after generation. These are our traditions. These things have always worked. Flying under the radar. They're deep in their emotions. They just can't believe it didn't work. Who's protecting this person? Who keeps saving this person? This person is still helpful. They still love unconditionally. But they don't know that this person is able to rejuvenate themselves and clean their spirit. Relax. Take care of themselves. They're balanced, regardless of the moon cycle. Them not knowing what their spiritual beliefs are, that they're balanced. A person's posture. A carriage is also a person's posture. If it's a good posture, then it suggests grace and poise. If it's bad posture, then, it's the journey of enlightenment and wisdom in Buddhism. They didn't know this person was enlightened and full of unconditional love and love for others. They didn't realize that they weren't going to sell their integrity regardless of what the situation holds, regardless of how many moon cycles go, because they're reflective. The more time goes on and the more the situation unfolds, the more this person is in isolation and the scapegoat and being blamed for things, being sheared of their comfort and warmth. The more they're okay to finding solitude. How can you be bitter in nature when you are one with nature? This person can be taking foods that are bitter, helping with digestion, relieving the stress. Maybe someone in the Justice Department is bitter that this person is able to do that and is not responding to whatever antics that these people have been doing. This black sheep doesn't mind being invisible. Which is not they don't understand that because they're so used to being the greatest of all time, to being so passionate and fiery, and to be out there and known and seen. The black sheep doesn't care if they're known or unknown. They won't sell their integrity for it. And if you're not a person like that, if you're a person that kind of lives in their ego, a heavy, dysfunctional, out of balance ego, what causes you pain is not the same thing that would cause someone else pain. What causes you to become unbalanced is not the same thing that would cause someone else to become unbalanced. The forgiveness in this person's heart is the lifeline, is the protection. Somebody understands the human experience and the fact that people are imperfect. Perhaps that's the message on today, the Love Day, is that there is not one person who is perfect. People will always fall short in some kind of way or regard. Just as we look outside of ourselves to perhaps judge others, it's imperative to actually take a self-examination or a look at ourselves in the mirror and realize that we are no longer perfect either. And when people can come to grips with themselves and their shortcomings, and have honest and integrity of who we are at our core, only then are we able to look out at other people and forgive them as well. Taking responsibility for one's own choices and journey in life helps with that. Forgiving oneself, forgiving others, providing help and healing where we can. Taking care of our emotions. Regardless of our family upbringing, who we were told we were, who we were told we would become. This is just how we do things. Looking above that and doing the right thing. Not the same thing. Fire can destroy or it can purify. Just as a bathtub can destroy or purify. If you leave a bathtub running, it's going to cause a lot of damage. We've got our fire and water here. Water on a small scale, water on a grand scale, fire on a small scale, fire on a huge scale. Balance. Balancing the emotions and the passions, whether big or small, is your balance. And what will save you. Giving grace comes back. Being bitter over there brings judgment. With that said, make it a great day. Find the balance. Live in peace.